Hello everybody, and today we're going to talk about time distortion. So not time compression, time distortion. And what that means is we are going to make some
slow-mo
videos today. This is my second favorite thing to do behind making green screen stuff, because you can do all kinds of cool stuff with slow motion, and it's a really great way to express your creativity and focus your audience's attention on movements. For this assignment, we are going to look at time distortion in a couple of different ways. The first one is just going to be a basic slow this down kind of thing. Then I'm going to move you into a more focused, slow a particular movement down. The third one is going to be what I like to call walking fast and slow. And that is when you are taking someone who's walking really fast and then you slow it down, and then it looks like they're walking normal speed. And you probably have seen this in some movies before, where you see a person walking and their hair is flowing and they look like it's so purposeful, but they're walking in a normal speed. And the fourth one is going to be a time distortion, where you're going to speed something up and then slow it down. So we're looking at a bunch of different ways to do time distortion. For most part, it's going to be slow-mo because that's the coolest one to do. And let's take a look at how to do it. So at this point in the class, you should know where you can find your videos and that you need to edit them down. So I'm just going to focus on what we're going to do and which clips we're going to use. So the clips we're going to use are going to be C4, which is Miss Hayes breaking a pencil, C5, which is Miss Hayes walking down the hallway, C7, which is Miss Hayes kicking, and C10, which is me blowing up a balloon and popping it. There are some other clips here, but we are not going to worry about those for now. How about we take a look at an example of what it is exactly that I'm looking for from you. That's what your video should look like. And if you look at my timeline over here, I've got music. My video goes to about a minute long total, and I turned off the audio on all of these files. And you can turn off the audio by clicking on the clip and then clicking on audio, and then you just fade this all the way down like that. And that's how you get rid of your audio. I'm saying get rid of your audio because when you are slowing things down, it is certainly nightmare fuel, and it can look a little bit like this. And I don't think that any of you really wants to spend a whole lot of time listening to that. I certainly don't. Let's take a look at the first clip you need to look at. So if we look at this, it takes Miss Hayes a little bit before she actually breaks the pencil. So we don't really need... So we can cut a little bit of this off. Now, when we double click on this file, we've done all of these other tabs, so we are going to go all the way over to the far right tab, and this is speed. There are a couple of dials here, so I'll talk about what these mean and how to use them. The first one, up on the top, is the range. So when you move these dials around, imagine you're looking at the film as a whole. And if you were to put these dials all the way to the left and to the right like this, then the entire thing will be slowed down. And then you see over here, this middle blue dot, you can pull this to the left, and the slowest you can get is 10 times slower. Now, you don't want to do that because slow-mo isn't really that interesting to watch just all the time. What you want to do is try to capture a good moment to slow-mo. Now, for example, what we're looking for in this clip is the moment that the pencil breaks. Because if you just leave this as is and you start previewing it, so I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to slow this all the way down, slowest it can go. Now, if you look at the bottom left of the screen, this has now gone from 7 seconds to 1 minute 15 seconds. And we just don't need to look at Miss Hayes' hands for a minute. We only need to see the part where the pencil breaks. So what we'll do, we're going to move this range around. I'm going to move this back. And I'm going to try to find that place where the pencil breaks. Okay, so I see the slow-mo kicked in too early, so I'm going to move this up a bit more. Move my playhead back, and then let's try this again. Nope, still not in the right spot. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is I just have to keep watching it over and over and over again until I find the exact moments I'm looking for. There we go, got it. Now at this point, I don't need this to be slow-mo anymore, so I need to pull this other dial back. So let's see if we can get this dialed in correctly. So you'll see over here, the trick is how long does the pencil take to break? How much time am I looking at? And it's going to be less than a second. So that's what you can use to guide your editing. This gap on the left hand side here is basically the part of the video that is playing without being slowed down. And then this area slows down, and then the rest is the unslowed down part. So what we're doing is we are using the dials to dial in the exact moments where we want the slow-mo to be. And when you're watching your video, it's going to be very choppy. And that's not great to watch, and it seems like it's not working correctly. But once you publish your video, that's when you'll see the smooth transition. So when you're editing, if you think it's really choppy, don't get too concerned. That's just the way the app works. Your published video will look good. You'll do the same with the kick. Ms. Hayes does 3 different kicks. And as you can imagine, what you're looking for, and again, we saw this in my example, you want to get it so that you want to start slow-moing, like in this one over here. As she is about to jump, that's when you slow-mo. And then the jump itself is going to look cool. And then as she lands, that is when you return back to normal speed. So you're going to have to find that gap to play around with. But please remember that slow-mo isn't just slowing things down as slow as they can. You need to be creative in it. A pencil breaking, absolutely. You want to go as slow as you can so you can get the bits of wood flaking out. But if someone's doing a kick, it doesn't look right to go 10 times slow and then her leg is just slowly going up like that. So really think about the timing. How does this look? How slow do you need to go for this to look good? And you might think, well, it's choppy, that's a problem. You could also just publish your video over and over again and watch it. That's what I've been doing. Honestly, I've published probably a dozen different videos at this point, just trying to get a good feel for what the video looks like. Because if you do a kick at 10 times the slowness, it looks like this.
Okay.
Compared to what I'm looking for, which looks like this.
Okay.
Big difference. So please keep in mind, you're not just trying to slow completely down. You just need to be creative. That's what I'm looking for. Be creative. Now we're going to take a look at the walk down the hallway. And this is the walking fast and slow thing that I'm telling you about. So first of all, just find an area that you want to focus on. She does a couple of different things during this walk, so you can pick the area that you think is most interesting to watch. And then when you go into your slow-mo, in this case you can leave your dials all the way to the left and to the right, but when you need to think about, and what I'm looking for from you, is what is the value that you can make this slower in, where she is going to be walking at normal speed in real time because we slowed her down from walking fast. So it's definitely not going to be 10, but you just need to play around with this, maybe export it a couple of times until you get it right. But otherwise, what we're looking for here is for Miss Hayes to look like she is walking at a normal speed, except of course she's walking with purpose and she has her hair flying around her. The final clip I want you to do is me blowing up a balloon. And if you watch this, it takes me a long time before I just don't want to do it anymore. And that doesn't make for good watching if you were to slow this down, for sure. But it will be interesting to speed up the blowing up of the balloon. So the way you can do that, because as you may have noticed when you go into your speed option here, you can only make it fast or slow. And again, you need to make that decision on how fast it should go. Now what you'll notice here, I cut this video file. When we look at our dials, this right dial has been moved over a little bit, and that's because this is where this clip ends. I'm not really sure why this app keeps clips at their full length when you're dealing with the time, but that's where it is. And I'm going to move this in a little bit more, because I want to start and end at a normal speed, but I want it to ramp up to a higher speed. It's going to move that in a little bit, move this in a little bit, and I'm going to make this go much faster. Okay, so I got a good opening blow. There you go. I got that in the first try. How about that? And then of course you'll then connect it to the second clip, and for this clip you will find the point where I pop it, and we've already talked about how to do that, so I'm not going to do that with you again. And that's really it. I think that each of them gets you to do something slightly different, and I hope that by just playing around with these clips that we'll be able to find a good balance in our fast and our slow. And that is our project, everybody. I am really looking forward to seeing how well that you can put these clips together, and I am also looking forward to what you can do with slow motion in future projects. But today we're just going to focus on the 4 clips that I would like to focus on. So good luck, everyone. Look forward to seeing your work.